G'day everyone, Big Butts here bringing you some tips and tricks for Space Marine 2's PvP. No faffing about, let's get straight into it. Okay, so these tips are going to be coming at you short and fast, and the first one is team play. So in Space Marine 2, it is very, very effective to stay with your team, being able to kill enemies a lot quicker, as well as have your teammates cover your flanks. Straight into the second one, using cover. So being a third-person shooter, you are able to look around corners without actually exposing yourself, pretty much trying to stay in cover as much as possible while still having the ability to shoot at your enemies. And onto the next one being displayed now is knowing your recoil, or know your weapon. In this clip, you can see I'm very much spraying and all my bullets really go all around the target and not hitting him. So in this next follow-up clip, I burst fire him and get the kill pretty easily. So just knowing which weapon is better for close range, long range, and to burst fire or unload on the enemy. Next one is pretty simple, just the contested point. You can see this in the middle of the screen. This indicated to me that there are enemies on the point, so I use my scanner to reveal where the enemy is or where I think they will be. And then we have headshots. So I recommend aiming for the head in the closer proximity fights. At longer ranges, you're better off just aiming for the chest to get better hits on target. But if you are in the close engagement, do aim for the head for the quicker kill. Grenades and ammo, which can be found across the map. Grenades are very important because they are a massive burst of damage, and having 2 grenades is better than 1. Which goes on to say flanking. So flanking, as you can see in this clip here, me and my squad mate are able to get up behind the enemy. They have no idea we're using our grenades and instantly dismantling all of the enemy players. And then we run into them, and of course I get bursted down, so I have to fall back here. But this is essentially just taking a different direction or approach to the rest of your team can pay off. We weren't really separated from the team. We were just coming into the fight from a different angle, but still playing as a team. And also just using the shoulder peeking here again in this clip, as I talked about before. Next clip, I actually did the right thing in that previous clip, which is use grenades first. So in this clip, I get up behind the enemy again, but instead of throwing my grenade, I just start shooting, which is less damage, and there's a bunch of enemies, so if I threw my grenade first, I should have been able to do a lot more damage to the squad. Fatality confirmed. And then of course, this wouldn't be a tips and tricks video without switching to your sidearm is faster than reloading. This is something that I'm working on myself and getting better at. Just when you run out of your primary weapon, just switch to your sidearm. It is a lot faster. Which also plays into this clip and this tip, which is ammo use. So in this clip here, I get a kill and an assist, and I still have 13 rounds in my gun, and I proceed around the corner and finish off the enemy with that remaining mag before reloading. Also comes back to just knowing the weapon, knowing how much ammo you do need to kill someone, so you can teach and learn this yourself. The next tip you would have been seeing throughout the video, and that is trading blows. So essentially, you want to be able to deal damage, maybe get a kill or 2. If you have taken damage to go down to your health, you want to really back out and regain your armor. It does regen a lot quicker in PvP than PvE, so you just want to take the time, heal up before re-engaging the enemy. The next tip is a simple one with the use of the bulwark and what that can bring to the team, and that is stand behind me. So with the shield raised, you pretty much negate every incoming bullet. So as a teammate, you are able to stand behind this and just lay into the other team while the shield in front is blocking all the damage. The next tip really refers back to 2 of my previous ones, which is just using everything at your disposal, using your grenades first, your primary weapon, and then also using your secondary sidearm and your melee weapon if you have one. Just being able to use all this as well as your ability just to be the best combatant that you can. And here is just another example of this. The tactical is probably the most versatile, being able to have a good primary weapon as well as good secondary and melee. Running into a contested point, I do not know where the enemies are, so using the tactical scan, aiming for headshots here, getting a kill quickly. Seeing that the point is contested once again, so I'm trying to find the enemy, throwing a grenade where I think the enemy is, which I am correct. Once again, aiming for the headshots, backing off when I need to get my armor back for this engagement, using the shoulder cover and peeking to be able to win this trade. Also aiming for headshots. My tactical scan comes up again, but I do need to retreat and heal. So really just trying to use everything at my disposal as effectively as possible. Now we have a few tips and tricks for the specific classes. So starting off with the heavy. This thing is just a big bundle of metal and you're very slow and very vulnerable in close engagement, so you really do not want to take melee fights at all. You would just want to sit back and spray and pray. This class also has the most amount of armor, so you will definitely win gunfights if you are in them. And the biggest tip for the heavy class is to keep shooting. In these close engagements, you have the firepower, so you just want to unload, and I think that's a better approach than trying to melee yourself out of a situation like this. Apart from shoulder peeking, one of the other advantages that you can have is the high ground. As you can see from this, you are very tunnel visioned in this game with no FOV slider, so having the high ground or just shooting from where the enemies aren't expecting, you will just have free reign and free fire on the enemies. So getting into a good position with this class is very essential because you are very, very vulnerable in these close engagements.
Another one?
Now onto the Vanguard, which is the grapple class, and first tip, you can grapple walls in PvP. In the PvE you can't do this, so coming to PvP it is a bit of a surprise. Instead of just grappling to enemies, you can grapple to any part of the terrain, which is very interesting and very fun. Especially when you spawn in, the grapple can just be a really faster way to get back into the combat, just like the jump pack does on the assault class. The main thing, of course, is grappling an enemy stuns them for a short period of time, which allows you to get up close, melee, shoot them, do whatever you want. But I do recommend using melee because melee will go through armor, and that's a major tip when you're up against a bulwark and he has his armor flag down, replenishing armor to his teammates. Melee will cut through that and deal health damage. So in this next clip, I start shooting and engaging a heavy, but seeing that he has the most armor in the game, I do deplete it, but he does deploy his bubble shield, so I just get up close and melee the shit out of him. So that's one thing to factor in. If you can get into a melee engagement with a heavy, you probably want to take that fight, and this is just another really good example of how to use the grapple. Just coming down, death from above. The enemies had no idea where the hell I just came from, and one of the best things to do with the Vanguard class.
But you do it.
Moving on to more towards the assault side of things. Now, something that you really don't get the chance to use is a charge attack, but coming upon enemies like this with their back towards you, you have a free reign to charge up. Now, straight into the next one, jumping in, and you're in a pickle, just jump straight out if you've got the extra charge. It's good to just re-engage. Enemies will take their eyes off you, will keep aiming forward to the other teammates you have, and you are able just to get out of the gunfight and hop back in. This is a really useful tip. I do recommend going into a fight with at least a backup jump pack. Now, like the previous tip, you really want to use all of the jump pack movement that you can. Pretty much all of it is very useful. Like, for example, here you have the dash, just getting across the gunfight, and then going into the jump, and then into the hover, just sustaining my air, using the air dash, and getting into a good position to come in for a slam. I do die, but if I had a grenade in that hover, that would have been a good time to throw it then. And here you can just see using the sidearm, very effective still with this class. Once again, jumping up, dashing, and then going in for a good slam. And of course, slam, good tip. It will do about a half of a player's health bar. So easy follow-up with 2 melee swings. Once again, kind of mentioned this before, if you're on low health, just hide. But hiding also comes into play on attack. So right here, I grab some ammo, and I know the enemies are coming back, so I'm getting into a spot where the other players can't really get to, and they're not expecting me here, so I'm just chilling, waiting, and then aim for the back line is what you want to do in these ambushes, because the heavy and the ranged guys are going to be in the back. You don't want to land in the front with these guys at the back aiming at you. And lucky last tip, learn from each game. So you've actually done something right now which is useful to you, and that's learn something new now in the video, but you can actually learn just from playing each and every game. Try and think of why you died or how you just died in that situation, what you can do better next time, or other strategies or other things, just learning your weapons, learning just the game mechanics all round. This will just give you the knowledge and thought process of how to deal with every situation better. Now that's pretty much all I have for you guys now. It is still very early days for Space Marine 2 and its PvP, but if this video did help you out, please leave us a like and share it with a friend if they need some help getting better at Space Marine 2 as well. And if you like this content, be sure to hit that subscribe button. I'm starting to branch out, doing more tips and tricks for other games that I am enjoying to help you guys improve your gameplay or just learn something that you maybe didn't know before. So once again, my name is Big Bodster. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.